Okay, hello and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, this is Barca, and you know the drill by now. We're going to talk about the Barca Valladolid game, and like Barca, we aren't going to waste any time here and get right into it. Goals from Lewandowski, Pedri and Roberto sealed a fine win. After Barca absolutely dominating proceedings and win the ball high up in the opposition's half, it looked as though we may endure another frustrating night in front of goal until Lewandowski broke the deadlock. A wonderful flowing move where runners from deep and even the forward line were finding space time and time again. Pedri arrived all on his own in the penalty box to slot home. The third goal after half time was a deflected back heel from Big Robert, and well, we are going to say he meant that. Why not, eh? And finally, a fourth goal, which I felt was well deserved, and I'm glad it was Sergi Roberto putting away the rebound after Lewandowski's attempt was parried onto the crossbar and fell perfectly for Sergi Roberto. Barca clearly dominated proceedings, as we can see. So having 68% of the possession to 32% for Valladolid, and Barca having 24 shots with 9 of them on target, and Valladolid having 8 shots with 3 of them on target. I remember the 3 that were on target. I don't remember the rest of the shots though, but well, let's get into this. So we can see the attacking sides. We can see that Barca attacked down the left 30% of the time, through the middle 27% of the time, and on the right 42% of the time. Where's that other 1% gone, you ask? Well, I don't know. Maybe we were underneath the ground or something, or on the sidelines, I don't know, attacking from the stands. Who knows? Yes, so you can see we clearly favoured being down the right. Our shot direction, yes, so we had 8% of shots coming from the left, with a massive 58% of the shots coming down the middle and a 33% of the shots coming from the right. So this again supports our theory that Barca were attacking down the right more often. Let's have a look at some positions now. So we're looking at the Barca players' average positions here, and we can see that Rafinha was the most forward of all the players, and Dembele's position was not on the left actually. He was quite far over on the right, so he drifted in a lot, and in fact him and Rafinha did interchange somewhat, with Gary there providing further help for those two players. Eric Garcia was the most defensive minded, staying back to mind the shot. Let's have a look at the attacking areas now. We can see Barca, 15% of the game was played in Barca's third, with 38% played in the middle third and 47% played in Valladolid's third, which just shows you with the pressing how much of the ball was won back in the opposition's final third and how we were camped in there, absolutely piling on the pressure. So, what did we learn, you ask? That's a great question. Well, for starters, looking at the lineup, we've already confirmed Xavi's favourite front three. And whilst we might have already known that, we can see that due to Dembele's ambidexterity, he is playing on the left and letting Rafinha play on the right. And well, Laporta said we are bringing the samba back, and boy, is Rafinha bringing it back. This guy plays with confidence and flair, and I, for one, like it. Koundé finally makes his debut at right back. And well, this just confirms what we already knew. Xavi doesn't think Dest is best. Araujo goes to his favourite position at centre-back. Araujo during the big games has looked good at right-back, effectively marking Vini Jr. out of the big games, but against smaller teams where he's required to do more in the attacking sense, he's found wanting there. So Koundé had a great game, and with Jules Koundé, none of these problems persisted. The French defender did splendidly both on and off the ball, despite not having played at right-back for some time. His distribution, except for the final few balls or crosses, was always on point, facilitating phases of play for his teammates. Off the ball, Koundé was again reliable, given his defensive acumen. Whenever he needed to track back into the defence, he had both impeccable timing and commendable decision making. His goal line clearance sums up this in a nutshell. So obviously in a perfect case, you wouldn't need to play any of the players out of position. So yet we have no apparent replacement for Dest, so I guess Koundé will be slotting in there. I, for one, would have thought against these smaller teams that sit back more when we need someone to help unlock the defence, I thought maybe Sergio Roberto would have been a shoo-in for the right back slot, but hey, what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube. Anyway, so we hope that Koundé takes this form into the next game against his former employers, Sevilla. Little under 2 years ago, Barca's wings were amongst our biggest issues. We only had Dembele, who was quite often carrying a sick note around with him, and so then his replacement, Ansu Fati, who was doing a job for us on the wing, also had some sympathy pains for him and joined Dembele on the hospital ward there. So despite this torrid past, the Garnet and Blue now boast one of the best partnerships out wide of any of the clubs in Europe in the boys, Rafinha and Dembele. I mean, this pair, they lifted up the Camp Nou, and they actually contributed to 3 of the 4 goals scored by Barca on Sunday evening. The Brazilian in particular, he emasculated his rivals all throughout the match, and he weaved his magic through the purple and white defence, mesmerising footwork and mesmerising defenders to get past them. His assist itself, like the rest of his play, was a thing of beauty. He played a perfectly weighted pass to Robert Lewandowski at the far post, who stuck his big old boots up there and put it past the keeper from about 2 yards out. The keeper left in no man's land. Dembele, meanwhile, he caused chaos whenever he got the ball, and he was rewarded with 2 assists. The Frenchman, he continued to confuse the visitors' defence with his relentless turns cutting in and out. I don't think even he knew which way he was going at some points. So these movements managed to get him 2 assists, and he also had a couple of efforts on goal, smacking the crossbar at one point, or the corner of the bar and post. Yeah, his mere presence and unpredictability was enough to instill fear in his rivals. Now, normally you might not expect such a duo to work like this, but Xavi's dynamic duo did a great job at installing fear in the hearts of the opposition. Like I said, Sevilla up next. Boys, more of this please, yeah. So I have been one to criticise and even question, why have we signed Eric Garcia? What does he offer us? And I have also noticed that ter Stegen has gone off the boil. Well, it looks like both have turned over new leaves. Well, for at least the first few games, that is. They are back to their best. In fact, at the end of last season, ter Stegen was coming back to his best form, and I think that is no coincidence, as he was getting strength back into his legs after surgery. When combining statistics from FBref, the German has conceded 3 post-shot expected goals and only has seen the ball go past him once. Form like this was missing when we needed him most last season, and we can only be glad to have a keeper back to his best self. Eric Garcia, meanwhile, has begun to realise the potential that he had when he came over from Manchester. Bar the obvious advantages that come from his splendid passing ability, the Spanish international was on hand to defend valiantly throughout the match. Are his performances starting to be somewhat reminiscent of a certain Mr. PK? Time will tell. We can certainly be hopeful going forward that a strong defensive core will serve as well. Yes, I know it's still early days. Ter Stegen and Eric Garcia's redemption campaigns are well underway. And so too is Barca's quest to be the best in Spain and further afield in Europe. Other thoughts: half-time subs from Valladolid with Plano and Mesa coming on would see the visitors keep the ball a bit better and even have some attacks of their own, with 3 coming in quick fire once Barca took the foot off the gas. And in fact, we had incredible saves from ter Stegen and a clearance off the line from Koundé. Lewandowski is a leader and has a mindset of an absolute winner. Instead of celebrating his 2nd goal of the game, here he is giving instructions to his teammates. #Relentless, baby. Some were calling for Fati to start, and for once he came off the bench and he didn't really have any impact. I think what Xavi is doing is absolutely right though, and easing Fati back into the squad and managing him well. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for listening, watching, or whatever you did. I will see you in the next video. Forza Barca. See you later. Thanks and goodbye.